All right. Well, fresh off of an Islanders win. Fresh off of an Islanders win. I'm in a good mood tonight. It's Loud Majority Live. Some quick thoughts and uh, and a couple new ideas and a couple things to chat about. So we're going to start in a couple minutes. We'll let everyone jump in who can, and uh, and we'll get rolling. All right. I see Facebook is starting to light up. YouTube is starting to light up. So we will just we'll let everyone who can jump right on in. We'll talk about everything tonight from the current goings on politically to um, the plans, the next plan, what we're going to be doing. Uh, we'll go over some Cuomo stuff. Going to talk about some rhinos, Congress and politics, a couple things. I'm going to talk about France, some cool stuff out of France. Or some interesting stuff to talk about out of France. Talk about some new things we have coming down the road in terms of staying together, in terms of being able to communicate. A little bit of a plan of attack. Yep, as Bill says on YouTube, a little bit of a plan of attack. And by the way, looking at YouTube, looking good tonight. Guys looking good out there. Facebook looking good. Just want to make sure right now that everybody on both streams, whether you're on the YouTube stream or on the Facebook stream, can you hear me okay? Can we hear me okay? Is everybody? Jessie Papa also says chicken wings to this day still are not soup. It's true. Chicken wings are not soup. YouTube, they are saying they hear me pretty good. Facebook, do you hear me good? Yes, you do. All right. Well, listen, let's chat about a few things. There's a lot. I want to just caution everybody right now not to be mean, not to be negative. I'm not doing this to put anyone down. I want everyone to understand that right now, circulating through Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Reddit and anywhere else you get your information, there is a lot of either disinformation, okay, misinformation, okay, or just general nonsense, let's call it, or unverified information that's going around right now with regards to what's happening on Wednesday. Okay? There are 20,000 troops in D.C. because it's an overreaction to what happened on January 6th. There are troops around the country in state capitals because there were rumors, so to speak, about armed protests taking place in state capitals. I am fully prepared, for at 12:01, January 20th, for there to be a new president of the United States, and his name, he's going to be sworn in, is Joseph Biden. Is it legitimate? We haven't received those answers yet. Is it what I want? Hell no. It's not what I want. But I have to say, with the information that's getting out, there's a lot of information that's getting out. We're getting, look, we're getting information from this department, that department. A lot of it isn't dated. A lot of it isn't verified. Do yourselves, look, again, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. But Occam's razor, the simple answer is the right answer. Okay? Good point to that's why there's troops everywhere. One of our favorite things to say is that elections have consequences. We don't say legitimate elections have consequences. We got played here. All right. Now, I'm not saying this to demoralize anybody, and I really don't want you to think I'm giving up because there's no give up here. It's too late for that. It's too late for that. I mean, all of what we've done, everybody I've met, the trips we've taken, all of these different there's no give up. I'm not giving up. So by saying I think that Joseph Biden is going to be inaugurated on Wednesday, it's not me giving up. I can offer a simple explanation as to why there are troops in DC. Okay? The simple explanation, why are there troops in DC? Is because January 6th turned into a disaster and they're overreacting to make us look bad. Now, does it feel like the military installation of a totalitarian regime? It does. I want, though, everyone to understand the alternative or some of the things that we're talking about, like martial law, whether it's partial martial law, full martial law, whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say. You don't want martial law. You don't. No country has ever survived that descent. No country ever gets out from underneath martial law. You don't want it. Believe me. If Donald Trump has to use the military and force to get back into the White House, we don't want that. This is not the guy who we voted for. We don't want to egg on the birth of a totalitarian state in either direction, right or left. One of the things that sets us apart from the liberals is that we have standards. We have what we call standards. We will not sacrifice our principles that we derive from the writings of Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. Madison, listen to me talk. Madison. We won't sacrifice those principles. We won't sacrifice those principles just to get our guy in office, because then we're no better than the left. We're no better than any totalitarian regime that has ever started all throughout history. It's not what we want. But I'll tell you what we want. I'll tell you what I want. Here's what I want to see happen. Right now, obviously, in a perfect world, Donald Trump wins in a landslide. We have 4 more years, right? But we all know, just based off of 2020 alone, that this world is far from perfect, okay? But here's what I want to see. I do not want to see. I do not want to see Donald Trump run again in 2024. Oh my God, you're being negative. Oh, you gave up. Nope, he's throwing in the towel. I never thought I'd see the day. He's throwing in the towel. There it goes. He's throwing the towel like nobody's ever thrown a towel before. What do you think I'm throwing in the towel? He's throwing the towel like nobody's ever thrown a towel before. I have to say, wonderful. We don't want to see him run in 2024. Why? Because as much as we love him, the reasons why we love Donald Trump are the same reasons why the Democrats hate Donald Trump. And when the Democrats find one target to combine and combine their, direct their collectively direct their emotions and their hate and their actions at. They destroy it. We know what Donald Trump represents. We know what his agenda is. His agenda is our agenda, the patriot agenda. Anybody can carry out that agenda who we like, who we agree with. I, for one, happen to love the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. I also happen to love Matt Gaetz out of Florida. I also happen to love Kristi Noem out of South Dakota and several others across the country. Rand Paul comes to mind. Marsha Blackburn comes to mind. I'm not talking about the president. I'm just talking about people we like. Trump doesn't need to run in 2024. Josh Hawley, Jeremy, yes, absolutely. He slipped my mind. Trump doesn't have to run in 2024. Trump is going to give us our own space going into 2024. Trump is going to hand the keys. Trump is in the driver's seat in the Republican Party. Ted Cruz, correct. Another one who slipped my mind. Fantastic, Ted Cruz. Trump gives you the keys to the car, to the Republican Party. We get the keys. Now it's our party. But without Donald Trump in the forefront, without Donald Trump out front and center, without Donald Trump actually running for president, the Democrats don't know where to direct their energy. Now, if they direct their energy at 75 million Americans, that's going to piss off a lot of other Americans who think they're being treated unfairly. The Democrats have no direction. The Democrats have no purpose. The Democrats have no reason to really ideologically exist without Donald Trump. When you take Trump out of the equation, the Democrats have nothing. Interesting, right? So just because Trump may not appear on the ballot in 2024 doesn't mean the MAGA agenda isn't being represented. But whose job is it to make sure that the MAGA agenda is being represented? It's not Trump's job. It's our job. It's the people's job. That's what I want to talk to you guys about right now. It's our job. Now, we could either be upset on Wednesday. We could be upset. We could be pissed. We could do what the liberals do, scream into the sky, do nothing constructive. We could be upset. Or we could decide it's time once again to do what we do best, organize and make a difference. Doesn't necessarily mean take to the streets right away. But understand that what we know going into this battle, going into this fight over the next 2 years, we're going to be facing wave after wave after wave of attempts to suppress, deplatform, demonize, in certain cases, criminalize what we do, how we think, who we are. It's coming. It's already happening on a small scale. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But we know, ideologically, our ideas, our policies, our politics stand up. They hold weight. They stand up. They work. We know theirs don't. So let them burn themselves. They're going to eat their own. Eventually, Joe Biden's not going to be woke enough. Eventually, Kamala Harris is not going to be woke enough. Eventually, AOC is not going to be woke enough. And we're just going to sit back and go, how much further are you guys going to go with this? AOC is not woke enough? Not woke enough? Now think about the position that we're in. I want to see somebody's responses here. Facebook, YouTube. Who thinks that it would be a lot of fun to be in a red state and do a rally, right? For our cause. Who thinks it would be a lot of fun in a red state, let's say Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas? Who thinks it would be fun to go to a red state and do a rally? Who thinks? You guys think that would be a good time? You think it would be fun if we went to a red state and started rallying? Who was like, oh man, I wish New York was a red state. I wish New York was a red state. Oh, man, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't those rallies in the summer have been twice the size? Well, I got news for all you guys. We're going to change this mindset. You see all these yeses? We're going to change this mindset. Now, Kimberly Alfano here on Facebook has got the right mindset. Congratulations, you win. Now, Block 2 here on YouTube, same thing. I think it's better in blue states. Let me explain how I'm thinking here. If a red state is a red state, yes, you have all the comfortability, you have all the support, you have a better chance of getting a huge turnout, you could reach more people, but these are people who we already know are people that are going to go to the polls and that are going to vote. It's not to say I don't love you guys, not to say I don't want to spend time with you guys. But think of the opportunity. Think of the opportunity to rally in a blue state and make real change. You're not making change in a red state. You know, when you think about it. Some cases you may, but you're not going to make big change, especially not national change. Like West Virginia, for example, despite the fact that they elected Joe Manchin, who's a Democrat, West Virginia is a red state. Rallying for Trump in West Virginia, it's nice to show support for Donald Trump in West Virginia, but you already know West Virginia is going red. We wouldn't need to rally, as Desiree says, if we were in a red state. But now, we're in a blue state. We have so much opportunity here to make a difference. Do you understand over the next 2 years? Now follow me here. Over the next 2 years. Over the next 2 years, there is nothing Republicans can do on a national level. There is nothing Republicans can do to block anything the Democrats want to pass, which we all know will be disasters. First of all, canceling the Keystone XL pipeline, that's going to be a disaster. It's going to make gas prices go through the roof, okay? The Green New Deal is an economic disaster. You can't finance it. Medicare for All is an economic disaster. You can't finance it. $15 an hour minimum wage. I'm sorry, let me do it this way. $15 an hour minimum wage is a complete and total disaster. We talked about it. We've talked about it several times. And yet they still want to do it. I have no idea why they want to do it, but we talked about it. And they know it's going to be a disaster, but they don't care. They don't seem to care. They want the $15 an hour. Crazy Bernie. $15 an hour, minimum wage. They want the 15, and they're going to get it, and it's going to put so many businesses out. Inflation is coming. But it's our job over the next 2 years to say, we didn't get in the way because we couldn't. This was all you. It's all you guys. Dems, you caused this. They're going to try and say, well, the Trump economy is crashing. Trump economy is not going anywhere. You're going to have cause and effect. Cause and effect. And we know going into this what is coming. So we have to make sure that we point it out. Not to the libs, but to your moderate friends. Your moderate friends, right? Johnny Ballgame doesn't really care about politics. Oh man, the way Trump's talk, the way Trump talks, man, it just puts me off. I'm just happy he's leaving. Oh yeah, you don't understand what you voted for, pal. Right? But now he takes a look. Now Johnny Ballgame takes a look and sees that Andrew Cuomo is telling small businesses to shut down. Andrew Cuomo is telling people throughout the entire state when they can and can't come out, when they can and can't sit down, when they have to and don't have to wear a mask. Andrew Cuomo is taxing the snot out of everybody and giving it to causes that don't benefit the taxpayer. Big tech is coming out there. They're censoring. I know people, I know moderates, right? They didn't vote for Trump. I know this for a fact. They didn't vote for Trump. And I said, how do you feel about this? Amazon just decided no more Parler. He said, well, what does Amazon have to do with it? Well, Amazon's the web host. He goes, well, that's ridiculous, man. They should let conservatives at least have a platform. There are people who love the idea of free speech. There are people who love the idea of free speech who don't love Donald Trump, okay? But their eyes will open over the next 2 years. Their eyes will open over the next 2 years. And over the next 2 years, how do we make a difference here? We're not in a red state. We have a lot of moves that we can make politically in New York, on Long Island, over the next 2 years. We were looking into this. There are districts throughout the state, on a state level, districts throughout New York State, where Democratic candidates for state Senate ran unopposed. I mean, like, of course you lost that seat. You didn't even run a candidate. We have an incredible movement born from somebody who I met and a team who I met through Long Island Loud Majority. Separate the state, divide and conquer. It's Salty and his crew. And we are putting together, or they are putting together, a petition to separate New York State into 3 regions and divide the electoral votes. Listen, people, well, it's never going to work. Well, you know what? How do we know? It's never been tried. Separate the state. They're also putting together a recall, a federal recall of Andrew Cuomo. Is it going to work? Are we going to get Cuomo out over the next 2 years? I don't know. But what we, the people, can do, put our names on that petition so that when he's running in 2 years, we can be blasting it all over the place that, hey, how come the governor hasn't addressed this petition calling for a recall with 500,000 signatures on it? Right? Wouldn't that be fun? The governor's running for re-election. He's got a petition out against him. 500,000 New Yorkers think he should be recalled. So maybe we don't remove him, but we damage him. We could do it. There's nothing this group can't do. Because the alternative is what we're seeing happen in France, where I just saw this incredible story on Fox News. I didn't put it on. I walked past the TV. It was on. Because quite frankly, I haven't watched the media since the day after the election. Annie Apples on YouTube said, I thought there was no recall in New York. There isn't on a state level. On a federal level, there is. On a federal level, there's a recall law. The federal government can look into it. Yes. A state law, no. So, getting back. In France, there's a company. I don't know which company it was. I saw this briefly. who are putting collars on. Thank you, Teresa, for posting the recall in the Facebook comments there. There is a company in France that are putting collars on their employees. They're called social distancing collars. I kid you not now. Social distancing collars. Where if you get too close to another employee, the thing starts going off. It starts getting loud and it starts making all this noise and it's supposed to be a deterrent. You're talking about the audio equivalent now of a shock collar over a virus with a 99.98 survival rate, folks. Look, I'm not saying there's no virus. I'm not saying, whatever. Listen, that's a shock. It's basically a shock collar. It's in France. Okay. It's in France. And there are people in this country. Wow, what a great idea. Oh, our company should do that. If you don't think that's coming here, if you don't think stuff like that is coming here, you're out of your mind. Oh, no, communism would never come here. It's here. It's here. The public square, the online public square, there's no free speech allowed in the public square anymore. It's here. Communism is here. Okay, we saw what happened with an election already. 2 of them, by the way. Communism's here. It's here. It's arrived. It's at your doorstep. Are you going to fight? You going to push back? Are we going to continue to say we're not complying? Are we going to continue? If we do not consent, we will not comply. Or are we going to just wilt? Well, I know this group too well. We don't wilt. Okay, I know this group way too well. We don't wilt. We don't fold. We don't go away. Are we being quiet right now? Yes, we're being quiet right now. We're being quiet right now because tensions are high. Safety is paramount. Tensions are high. Safety is paramount. So what do we do? Who wants to have a rally? I want to know. I want to see everybody in these chats. Who wants to have a rally? Who wants to have a rally? I'll wait for some response. Who wants to rally? Well, I know everything's on a delay here, so we got some people there. Look at all the people looking like they're warming up for a concert over there in YouTube. Me. Look at all this. Everybody over here. Me. Everybody wants to have a rally, right? We're going to have one. But we have to wait a little bit, okay? We're going to have a rally. But we're going to do this the right way. Okay? Now, working with Separate the State is a blessing, really, because a lot of people who are on the MAGA train, the Trump train, would agree it's time to separate the state, right? Or recall Cuomo. So our rallies going forward, with Donald Trump not being in office, are going to be geared towards how to make a difference here on the state level. Because, if we make a difference on the state level, we start taking back seats. We start taking back ground. If we can take our state, if we can win the gubernatorial in 22, and I know there are folks who will say, well, who's running in 2022? Whoever we want to run. That's why it's important to act now. That's why it's important to get this petition going and signed now. Because if it's this group teamed with Separate the State, if it's us from Long Island who are at it again with their crazy ideas, that Long Island Loud Majority, that group, right? If we act now, we generate the momentum now, we generate the energy now, we get the conversations flowing now, anyone who wants to run for governor is going to have to come through us. Anyone who wants to run for governor is going to have to come through us. You understand, a candidate like Andrew Garbarino would not have been elected to office had it not been for voters in this group. Okay? You understand that Lee Zeldin, who has been fantastic, who deserves everyone's utmost support and respect, Lee Zeldin doesn't win in a landslide if it wasn't for voters in this group, if it wasn't for the energy, if it wasn't for the enthusiasm. So the next rallies that we're going to do, the next gatherings, the next rallies that we would do will be geared towards taking back New York. Because in 2022, our governor and Chuck Schumer, are both on the ballot. And how nice would it be for a double play and for us to be right in the front of it? This is our ability to make real change. If you can roll a momentum here, 2022. Let's flip a couple congressional seats too. Let's flip Swazi. Let's shoot big and get Kathleen Rice out of there in Nassau County down in the Belmore Avenue area. Right? Because if we can flip some congressional seats in 22, well, that goes towards our red wave to take back the House and build in the Senate in 2022. And if we can prove in 2022 that a Republican can win a statewide election, whether it's the senator or the governor, we can prove that it's possible for New York to vote Republican, vote red in a statewide election, also known as a presidential election in 2 years in 2024. And you take New York away from the Democrats, and they will never win another election again. And that is why it is a blessing that we do what we do in a blue state. A blessing. We are going on a safari where we're going to see rhinos, lots of rhinos, and we're going to choose which ones we're going to replace. The inauguration on Wednesday, the illegitimate inauguration, as I call it. You can watch it. You don't have to watch it. The imagery is going to be so terrible. It's going to look like the military removed Trump from office and you want to fly whatever flags you want to fly, you can fly them. We are the show, guys. This is Long Island is our home. This is our backyard. It's our place. New York is our state. And we have to start building the momentum now. We do it now because think about it. Loud Majority, our first rally, my first rally, before we were even known as the Long Island Loud Majority, right? Before I even started wearing a pirate hat. First rally, September 6th, Copeg. Imagine I started doing these things. We all started doing these things in May, June, July. We had a whole summer. Could you imagine? Now we've got time. We've got the blessings of time. We've got 2 years, and we could start right now and start finding these candidates right now and start finding like-minded people. They don't all have to be conservatives. Find me a Democrat who likes free speech. Find me a Democrat who supports small businesses. Find those people. Those are the people I want to see. Find me those people. Bring them to one rally. Long Island Loud Majority. Take back New York. Separate the state. Whatever you want to call it. Find me one. Find me. Right? And you know what'll happen? These guys aren't so bad. They're not domestic terrorists. These are the same. You guys are the same Trump. Yeah, we're the Trump people. Oh, wow. At this point in time, the key is not to be negative about other people. The key is not about just throwing up your hands and losing hope. Oh, well, now what? Oh, man, this is too hard. Marcus Aurelius says not to find it impossible because you find it hard. But if it's humanly possible, you can do it too. We're all human beings. And we all know the Democrat platform is a fraud. It's all going to fall flat on its face. They don't stand for anything. To stand for something, you have to have something called standards, and they don't have those. Well, Black Lives Matter. We agree, all lives matter. But the Democrats only seem to think Black Lives Matter every 4 years. Right? But Black Lives Matter, that's our platform. Racial equality. I can't wait to watch these programs that they're going to put in place fail every single minority candidate that they've made promises to again. Even Black Lives Matter's coming out saying, Biden, Harris, we're waiting to hear about that meeting we want. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be there. They're all going to expose themselves without Trump. They got nobody to hate. They got nothing to unify around. And they're going to outwoke each other until they start eating each other. The Democrats don't believe that Black lives matter. They believe that Black votes matter. That's the truth. So let's all just, okay, the most important thing going into Wednesday, keep our heads. Okay, let's keep our heads. Let's stay, rational. Let's stay reasonable. Let's be wise to disinformation. Let's not hope for martial law. That's not who we are. Let's get ready to open up some small businesses. Let's get ready to protest the masking. Let's get ready to rally. Couple weeks. Not much longer, guys. Not much longer. We're going to get out there. Couple things now. We're going to try something new tomorrow night. I need everybody who's got a smartphone to download the app Podbean, Podbean. If you got it, download Podbean, please. On Tuesday nights, I'm going to try and do it from, let's see. We'll see. We'll pick a time. But Tuesday nights, I think we're going to do an audio only sort of broadcast type of deal. Audio only on Podbean. It's an app. It's a podcasting app, and it enables you to go live through audio at any point in time. Download that app, Podbean, and I will get you the specifics on where to go. And it's gonna run like a 1 hour almost radio type of program, where if you have the Podbean app while I'm on there, while anybody who's doing the stream is on there, you can actually call in and participate, which I want to do. I want to start to form a Patriot network, so that we can all keep in touch with one another. We could all hear each other's voices, speak, kind of round table it. We'll take a few and keep it interactive. One of the best things about this group is that it's always been kind of close, even though it's been massive at times, it's been close knit and intimate. And I want to preserve that going through the winter. It's cold, man. There's ice on the road and it snowed before and like it's freezing. And listen, I get cold quick. Okay. These rallies and whatnot are not the same in the winter as they are in the summer. There's not much more, there's not as much daylight to work with, but there's still ways to keep together, keep the open flow of information, keep the ideas going. So download the Podbean app, and I will be posting instructions on MeWe. I will be posting instructions on the Facebook group and through Twitter and through the Instagram on how to interact with our profile on the Podbean app and when to get us when we do live streaming on there. So Tuesday nights, try from like 9 to 10 on Tuesday nights on the Podbean app only. There will be no video on Tuesday nights. Mondays, you can get used to this again. Mondays, we can get back to this again. And we'll be doing this again every Monday night. And I'm thinking, because it went over pretty big, the fireside chats, we'll try and do those regularly as well. That's obviously weather permitting. I can't do it if it's raining out, especially with all the tech outside. All right. So go ahead, download the Podbean app, and I'll let you know what to do afterwards. Okay. Wednesday is going to be an interesting day. Again, I don't mean to be negative. I don't mean to be a jerk. I happen to think that I'm being just realistic here. I'm prepared for what I think is going to happen. And that is that Joe Biden's going to be sworn in on Wednesday, January 20th. And at 12:01 p.m., he will be the new president of the United States. I'm just trying to be real. Barbara Wood Carroll said, needs better audio on the fireside chat. Really hard to hear you. I've actually figured out a way we're going to fix that. So that is coming. Dana said, stay focused. Hold on. There's something back here. Hold on. She said, stay focused. Dana's being negative. Fidget spinner keeps you focused. All right. Once again, thanks for jumping on. I told you quick, about 40 minutes. Thanks for jumping on, folks. Fresh off an Islanders win. We are now 2-1. Hope that kind of answers a few questions. And there's been a lot of questions, a lot of chatter. Where are you? What are we doing? What are we doing next? Just let's. Where will you keep updates on communications? We've got groups on MeWe. Join the MeWe group, MeWe.com/join/LILM. YouTube.com/Long Island Loud Majority. If you haven't subscribed, get on to YouTube. YouTube.com/Long Island Loud Majority. YouTube.com/Long Island Loud Majority. Folks, we will be giving no ground going forward. No ground. You know your constitutional rights. I know your constitutional rights. You know your rights. We know our rights. We give no ground. That's going to be our new. How do you like that as a new thing? Give no ground. How do you like that? I think you want to see that kind of spread. Give no ground. How about that? Give no ground. You like that? I like that. I'm going to do it anyway. Give no ground. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. on the Podbean app only. 9 p.m. on the Podbean app only tomorrow. Podbean Live. I'll get you instructions. I'll get you some stuff. I'll post you where, things like that on the MeWe, on the Facebook. Podbean app tomorrow, 9 p.m. I will catch you guys there. Thanks for jumping on with me today, guys. You stay loud. Give no ground and stay loud. I'll catch you later.